Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Daily Cup of Cocoa the Great. As you can see, it's a change of scenery. Today is gig day, and I am on the way to set up for my show. As you can see in the car, I am just locked and loaded with all of the wonderful goodies and getting ready for an incredible performance. I must get myself situated, so I am on the highway. But yes, another day my internet was not working, so I decided to scrap the song a day thing, and we're going in a new direction. It's just going to be daily vlog on the craziness going on in my life, and it's just going to be a glimmer and a shot into the dark of what's in my mind. And today, as you can see, it's gig day. I said that already. But have you ever had a dream that was very vivid, that kind of cast something over the rest of your day? Last night was one of those nights with a dream. I was sleeping soundly, and I remember I was in this ice cream parlor, and there was all sorts of pandemonium. All sorts. People just running around, and then I just heard shots. Shots fired. It's 5 to be exact. And people just went crazy, and all of a sudden we had to take cover. And I remember behind this ice cream parlor there was this bin of sorts that I climbed into. It was like an air conditioning unit, and I climbed inside of it to hide. Anywho, that was for quite a long time in the stream. And then the police came. They were looking for the person, the assailant, that was out terrorizing people with a weapon, and they could not find him. And so somehow I ended up being one of the ones that was searching for this lone gunman in this quaint little town. Didn't really resemble anything that I knew, but a lot of the people I knew, I was going on the hunt with one of my old coworkers, who was a older man that had his Spanish bravado, and we were out on the town looking for this unknown person, and we were walking into this diner. It's like one of those old school diners. I remember we were walking past this group of people, and we're not facing them anymore, and I look to my coworker, my partner at this point, and I go to him. That man behind us, I have a really bad feeling. And I felt it inside. I often find myself lucid dreaming, and I felt this churning of, ooh, this isn't going to end well right now. And at that point in the dream, I was brandishing a weapon. I had my own pistol of sorts that I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I was carrying it, and I don't remember carrying it earlier, but it nonetheless was being carried by me. And I remember turning around, and it was like everything had stopped, and I could just see everything so clearly. And it was like an old Wild West movie where I pull out my revolver, and it was like 2 shots, mine and his, basically at the same time. Mine landed directly in between his eyes and his forehead, and his landed right in my stomach. And I felt it. I really, really, really felt it. It hurt really bad. Almost as if someone had punched me in the stomach, but more. It hurt. And I remember falling to the floor and just saying to someone, can you get me some napkins and apply some pressure on this for me, pretty please? Which, honestly, for me would not be out of character, because if I got really hurt, I'd probably be analyzing it more so than just being in pain, right? Like if I broke my leg, I'd probably either be laughing at what just happened to break my leg, or I'd be like, my leg's broken. What shall I do now? Just kind of the way I am. And then I woke up. I felt that pain still. And this was after I was actually awake. I still felt that pain. And then my cat that was sleeping right next to me, she's always directly next to me, about a minute later, just like wakes up. Like if something had frightened her, almost like she was in my dream with me. It was really weird. Really weird. And I don't know what any of it meant. I ended up falling back asleep. And then all day, ever since I've been awake, I've been in this kind of funky place. I haven't really been jazzed about much. I haven't really been, I don't know. I've still done stuff, like I was still practicing my guitar, and actually that's what got my mind off of it. But I've just had this weird feeling all day, and I don't know why. I don't know why at all. And it's almost like depression. So a couple days ago, I had a great show with my band Pop Daddy, and I felt awesome. I haven't felt so good in a long, long time, almost like the top of a wave. And then Friday happened. It was kind of uneventful. Nothing really bad happened. Nothing really good happened either. It's just kind of normal. And then that dream last night. I remember before bed, I usually kind of go over what I did in the day, and then I think about all of the good things, the things that happened that were awesome, the things that didn't go so well that I might have learned something from. And I also look inward for advice on where to go, because lately I've been in a state of what is that next step. So about 2 years ago now, I quit my very, very, very structured job that paid my bills and everything, that was a very good job. I quit that and went on my own journey where nothing was guaranteed, where every day is a new adventure. And I tried a few different jobs, and I tried a bunch of different things. And I ended up falling in love with woodworking. So I've always been a musician, I've always been a guitar player, and this other job that I had allowed me to do that too. And then COVID changed everything, the job changed. I knew I was capable of more. I knew I wanted to do more for not only myself, but for other people too. It's why I've always loved music, right? It's an opportunity where you can connect to something greater than what you are currently doing in the present. And so I've been in this period of space where I don't know what the next step is. So I fell in love with woodworking, and over the past year and a half, I've been slowly converting my whole basement into this really awesome, productive workshop where I can make furniture and other things out of wood. I really love live edge wood. I get everything locally. It's all sustainably harvested. It's all from trees that are within like 20 miles of my house that happen to come down for a real reason. And I just fell in love with the beauty and everything you can do with that wood. Even if it's just a cutting board or a serving board, I fell in love with the wood, and it's something that I just love doing, and am trying to turn that into a business the same way I've turned music into a business, where I play in bands where we've created experiences, if you want to say, where we can get paid to play music. And the same theory is going into this other hobby where, like music, I'm only busy really on the weekends, and what do I do the rest of the time? It's to find something that is flexible, so if I have a lot of stuff going on one week, I don't really need to do anything with it. But if I'm not, I can bang out a lot of stuff and make some extra money and not be tied down to a job where you're kind of hurting the business or you're affecting someone else by not working, right? So the in between now has been bartending, but guess what? If I have a gig, I have to take the night off, and then I'm not really ahead of the game. Where if I'm making furniture Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when I'm not gigging, then it's more balanced in my life. And then if there's a month where, let's say I go on tour, it doesn't matter. My business gets put on the side. But it's been deciding how about going about that business. So I've made a lot of stuff. I have a ton of inventory, but I don't know how to sell it. I've just been doing trade shows and tried making a website, and that's proven to be difficult. But my business is all registered, and it's like, what's the next step for it? And even with music too, it's like, what's the next step for it? Because it's been quite difficult. It's a lot of work to just book gigs and then really take it to that next level where we're not really like begging places to play, where places are calling us to play. Like, because we are doing such a good service that everyone just wants to have us there. And then everyone's coming out, and it's this web of a lot of decisions to be made in my life right now. And before I went to bed last night, I remember saying to myself, I hope something appears. And then that dream happened. And I still remember it. And now this has been 12 hours since I've woken up. And I still remember the dream. I still have the imagery in my head. And I'm like, what was that? Right? Because I asked for a sign, and is that the sign? I mean, I basically just died. I did something that had meaning, because obviously in that moment, people were in danger, and then I stopped that danger. But at the same time, part of me almost died there. And so it's like, what does that mean? And I'm going to my gig now, and that's all that's on my mind. And I know once I start playing, the music will take over, and then maybe I'll go on some sonic journey that only the ether knows at this point. I do not. But I figured I would share that. My internet was down, and so I could not do the video that I wanted to do with music, but I think just posting something every day and making this as like my vlog and like what's going on is going to work too. You know, it's about committing to something. It's about every day getting a little bit better and about putting something forward. And so, yeah, that's going to be the blog for today. That's your daily cup of Coco the Great. Today comes from the car. I think this is a nice place where it's like a safe spot, right? You can kind of chill out and just be, right? And so I'm glad I got to take you on a little ride, and I will see you tomorrow with more news in my life. Toodles.